Everybody told me I was never going to make it. I was never going to go to college. I was never going to get out of Hunters Point. I was going to be just like my mom. I was going to be on heroin. I was going to be on crack. I was going to be a prostitute. You know, like, nobody ever said, Teruko, do you want to go to college? Or, Teruko, do you want to get out of the ghetto? You know, nobody ever asked me that, so I never asked myself that, you know? I felt like the biggest obstacle, like, really was me just, like, defeating myself at, like, not believing in myself. After school, word comes on how many puff passes it would take for me to get so fucked up that at home I would forget that my mother was smoking the same shit that I was selling. At 13, I started selling heroin, which was like a crazy step for me. Like, I felt like starting in the middle. Let's start from the beginning. I was born to like a black mom and a Japanese dad, and my mom was a prostitute and my dad was her trick. I grew up in Hunters Point, California, which is a slum area, like a ghetto in San Francisco, in which a lot of people either don't make it out. They live there their whole life. You're locked in, and it's like, although we have like the freedom to get out, to go to school, to get education, to get better jobs, we don't really like know about it because there's no one there to like teach us. So I feel like my obstacle was just getting out of my community. Listen up, everybody, the bottom line. My junior year, everybody was talking about college, and like all throughout high school, I would never like think about that. I was selling dope, I was selling pills, all in high school. So it was like something that I wasn't really like looking forward to. I was just like, okay, whatever, what am I gonna do tomorrow? I'm not worried about 2 years from now. I'm worried about where I'm gonna get this rock from, how I'm gonna make my money, how am I gonna pay to get on the bus to go to the school I'm at now. I was like, okay, I need to get my shit together. So senior year, I asked to be enrolled in an AP class. I was like, I know I can do it. One day I went to the counselor's office and I asked for a fee waiver to like apply to UCs and states, and the counselor told me no. I felt like she just like stereotyped me. She's like, you're not gonna go to college, you know, like you're not trying hard enough to go, you know, you're not worth the fee waiver. I skipped algebra 2. So then my Pythagorean theorem wasn't a squared plus b squared equals c squared, but more like concrete walls and stereotypes that led to failure, and an education system that taught me that my color and my race will always be the reason why I won't make it. She wouldn't give me the paper, so I had one of my friends go in and get one for me, and I got into UC Berkeley, San Diego, and I was gonna go to Mills because I felt like the people around me, like the person who like influenced me a lot, I used to work at a nonprofit. She went to Mills and she came straight out of the juvenile justice system. She had her child real young and she was selling dope, and she went to Mills and now she works for the district attorney's office. And I was like, you know, if she can do it, I can do it. I want to go to Mills too, you know, like look what they made her into, you know. She was just saying, no, Cal isn't for you. People like you, people like us, we need settings to where it's only like 10 people. We need the attention. We can't sit in a big classroom because we're not able to learn. You know, we're not going to be able to function like that. You just come from the ghetto. You know, we need that focus, you know. A part of me was like, no, like that's not true. You know, I can make it anywhere. And I felt like I had to find my own path. And I think like coming to Cal and like going to college, first of all, was like a big accomplishment. Now that I'm in Cal, it's hard to find a job out here, and it's hard to go to school and have a job and have a life. So right now I work at Cal Dining, and I get like maybe 20 hours a week, which barely pays the rent, which barely buys food. And like the dorms were so expensive, I just couldn't live there another day. As a foster youth, it's hard, you know, like I don't have a lot of family support, so it's like nobody's like giving me money. Nobody's like, oh, here, Teruko, here's like, you know, a card with $100 so you can buy a book, you know, like I'm working until 11:30 at night. The budget crisis is like really gonna affect me because it's like I can barely afford like what I'm living in now. Listen up, everybody, the bottom line. I'm a black intellect, but I'm refined. We precision like the... Maybe when I get out, I'll get a good job because I have that UC Berkeley degree. But it's like, with all these budget cuts, I might not even be able to go to school here next semester because I'm not going to be able to afford it. come from a place where people are getting killed every day, where people sell crack and that's their living, where police let it be okay, and when people die, police never come. Like, for me to, like, wake up and say, okay, well, I'm going to school and maybe I will get a good job that pays good money, that's like a dream to me. At age 18, math still isn't my favorite subject, but I've gotten to be so good at it. I still try to avoid accumulating the number of times I've been asked to be godparents of children under the age of 18, divided by the daily deaths of cousins and friends by numbers like AK-47s and 22s. A lot of times I've been reading in, like, my education class and, like, my sociology class is that at-risk youth who are already past that stage of where they're unsavable, which is, like, after 9th grade. So 9th through 12th grade, if you're at risk, there's no, like, saving you, you know, like, and I felt like I was past that at-risk stage. And I feel like my drive is to get all those kids who are out selling dope, like, who already have kids at the age of 15, 16 years old, and educating them. Education is, like, the key success to life as of right now. It's already hard enough that kids like me feel like, oh, I'm not going to get in, so why should I apply? And when they do get that encouragement that I did get from my high school crisis counselor or from a nonprofit, you know, to go to college, they see that, damn, tuition at Berkeley is what? It's like, there's no point of applying. It's like, because even if I do get in, how am I going to pay for it, you know? So it's sort of like turn kids away, you know, because it's like, who's going to tell them that they have an opportunity? Who's going to tell them that they can still go to college, you know? Nobody's out there telling them that. I want to be a high school crisis counselor. So I've taken a lot of classes in which have empowered me and gave me the knowledge to which I can give to somebody else. I feel like a lot of stuff that I have learned from, like, sociology, from all these classes that talk about statistics, about the educating and the making of the people who go to school there, the people who aren't going to school, like, I feel like I go back to my community, and those who will listen, I do tell them about it. When I come back, it's like some of the boys who I talk to, you know, I try to tell them, like, oh, well, I learned this in my social class, or, like, and they'll be interested, you know, but a lot of them be like, you're a sellout, you know, like, you're not here with us, you're not selling dope with us on the street corner no more, you're not with us, you know, like, look what you're doing, like, you don't even live here no more, you know, you don't rep us, you, like, and it's hard because it's like, those are the kids who I want to reach the most. I've done a lot of nonprofit work, like, over the summer, in which, like, I held, like, classes and, like, taught them things in which they never would have known. I'm gonna hold a creative writing class in which I'm taking all of the curriculum from the Poetry for the People class that's taught at Cal, and I'm using that to teach foster youth in San Francisco at Independent Living Skills. And it's basically a place in which they take kids who are 14 through 17, who are, you know, almost ready to emancipate, almost ready to go to transitional housing, be on their own, and giving them the life skills that they need, you know? And, like, my goal in life is to just keep that going. If people don't have the opportunity to go to Cal, at least they'll know something, you know, like, at least I feel good because at the end of the day, I've taught somebody something of what I've learned for free. I don't think you need to be, like, super smart and earn, like, a 3.0 or higher to learn the stuff that we're learning at Cal, because I feel like everybody deserves to learn it. Up the stairs is still the only time I count. Knowing that the educating and the making of a great leader starts in 3, 2,